Good day! For the whole chapter, you will learn how to read and analyze academic texts. When we say academic text, it means text written by experts or professionals in a given field using formal language. So some examples of this are textbooks, scientific or research journals, articles, essays, and many more. And of course, to help you regarding with that matter, we will focus first on our first step, which is to improve your vocabulary. So when we say vocabulary, it means the words you know and use whenever you are speaking or writing using the English language. So it will be hard for you to analyze or even comprehend academic text if you have limited vocabulary. To improve that, I have provided here some ways. So the first one is learning word structure. In word structure, you will learn the three parts of words, which are the root word, prefix, and suffix. So let's define them one by one. So a root word is a word that can form the basis of new words through the addition of prefixes and suffixes. So in other words, once you pull off any prefixes or suffixes in a word, the root is what remains. So example, in the word absent, the root word is sent. In preschool, the root word is school. In laborer, the root word is labor. And in the word childhood, the root word is child. So those letters added at the beginning or end of the root word, we call that as prefix and suffix. So a prefix comes from the words pre, which means before, and fix, which means to attach. So prefix means to attach before a root word. So prefix is placed at the beginning of a root word. So some examples of prefixes are here, as you can see, we have ab, at, anti, and so on. So these prefixes have meanings, and understanding their meanings can help you in figuring out the meaning of the new word formed with prefix. So I have here the prefixes, their meanings, and examples. So all you have to do is to memorize the meaning of each prefixes so that when you encounter an unfamiliar word, just by looking at its prefixes, you will be able to determine its meaning. Whether the word means together because it starts with ko or means not, and so on. So here we have another set of prefixes. So we have here the word irresponsible, which has the root word responsible. So since the word was added by the prefix ir, it now means not responsible. So as you can see, the prefix or this prefix contribute to the meaning of the new word form. So I have also provided other prefixes, as you can see. Please take down notes that prefixes such as an, non, in, and cis imply the opposite of the root word. Like for example, unfinished, which means not yet finished. There are also prefixes that show locations such as tele, sub, inter, and trans. And prefixes that can show numbers or amounts such as mono, as monolingual, bi as in bicycle, multi as multitasking, and we also have deca as decanter. So another thing is the suffix. It is added at the end of a root word. So I have provided here some examples of suffixes together with its meaning and newly formed words. So you may notice that through adding the suffixes in our root words, it changed its form. So from noun, it can become a verb or an adjective. Like for instance, the noun friend can be an adjective by adding the suffix "ly," so it became friendly. Or the verb can become a noun. Like for example, the verb inspect, just add the suffix or, it can become a noun, which is inspector, someone who inspects. So another way to improve your vocabulary is using dictionary. So if you don't want to use the traditional dictionary book, you may use downloadable dictionary apps such as You can use downloadable dictionary apps such as Merriam-Webster, and also you can play vocabulary games such as crossword puzzle that may help you in your vocabulary. Another thing that can help you is through watching English movies. So in this way, you will hear how words are used in context, and at the same time, you will be able to see how the actors deliver those words that will help in knowing the meaning of those words spoken. So another strategy that will improve your vocabulary and reading skill is learning the context clue. So context clues are words or sentences surrounding the unfamiliar word that give hints on its meaning. Even without using dictionary, you will be able to know its definition through these context clues. So we have different kinds of context clues. We have example clues, synonym or definition clues, antonym or contrast clues, and general clues. So example clues, the author will mention a word and then give examples that either describe or explain it. So to make it clear, it uses examples to help readers infer the meaning of the vocabulary word. So for example, carbohydrates such as pasta, bread, and rice may contribute to weight gain. So here, the sentence gives examples of carbohydrates such as pasta, bread, and rice. So from the given examples of carbohydrates, we can derive that carbohydrates are food that contain starch. Another thing that will help you know that the sentence provides an example clue is when you see words or phrases such as like, for example, for instance, as an illustration, and so on. So next example of example clue is the student was suffering from the anxiety. For example, when he first saw the test, he began to tremble. So as you can see here, we have the phrase, for example, which tells us to understand our unfamiliar word anxiety. We have to look for its example in the sentence. And here, the example given was when he first saw the test, he began to tremble. So this only means that a person who has anxiety may also tremble when triggered by something. So next is the synonym clues. These are words with the same meaning. Example, beautiful and pretty, correct and right, small and tiny, glad and happy. So synonym clues are also called definition clues because the synonym of unfamiliar word will also serve as its meaning. So we have here different examples. Number one, we have Mr. Crab is quite affable. In fact, he reminds me of SpongeBob. Do you remember how friendly he was? So our unfamiliar word is the underlined word affable. So the meaning of affable can also be located within the sentence, and that is the word friendly. Affable is synonymous to friendly, so affable means friendly. Another thing that will help you know that the writing provides a synonym clue is when you see the word or phrase such as or, in other words, that is. By this we mean that is to say, and also known as in a sentence. Like for example, caught in an epiphany, that is a sudden, strong, and clear realization, I suddenly knew how to solve my dilemma. So since we already have the words that is, it indicates that our clue in identifying the meaning of epiphany is through finding its synonym in the sentence or its definition in the sentence. And those are the words sudden, strong, and clear realization. So epiphany means a sudden, strong, and clear realization. So next clue is the antonym clues. These are words with opposite meaning. For example, beautiful is the opposite of ugly. Big is the opposite of small. Long is the opposite of short. Fat is the opposite of skinny. So those are antonyms. So one of the things that may help you To figure out if the writer uses an antonym clue is when you find these words in the given statement, which are but, however, on the other hand, nevertheless, yet, in contrast, and unlike. So we have here example. So jogging long distances exacerbates the pain in my feet. However, soaking my feet in warm water after jogging feels relaxing and soothing. So since we have the word however, it indicates that the word exacerbates has an opposite word within the statement. And our clue are the words relaxing and soothing. From this, we can determine that the definition of exacerbates is worsen or to make something worse. Another example, John is gregarious unlike his brother who is quiet and shy. So since we have the word unlike, it indicates that the word gregarious has an opposite word within the statement. And our clues are the words quiet and shy. So from this, we can determine that the definition of gregarious is the opposite of being quiet and shy, which is outgoing or sociable. So gregarious means outgoing or sociable. So next we have the general clues. So relationship between words are not directly obvious and instead it is implied. So this let the readers puzzle out a word meaning from whatever information is available. For example, the girl gave a cursory glance at the price tag before taking the dress to the counter, so she was shocked when the cashier gave her the total. So in order to know the meaning of the word cursory, you have to analyze the words presented in the given statement. So how the word is used within the statement. If you look upon clearly here, cursory means quick, because if the customer didn't glance quickly at the price tag, she wouldn't be shocked for the price, right? Next example. Paul knew he just made a cultural faux pas when he kissed the Muslim woman on the cheek and he was met with a dead stunned stare. So here your clue would be the Muslim culture. We all know that Muslims women are more conservative than us, and for them there should be no physical contact between people of the opposite gender. And another clue would be the dead stunned stare, which indicates that the action of kissing is not acceptable and a mark of displaced behavior and action. So from these clues, we can imply that faux pas means committing a mistake or unacceptable action. Another example, Song Hye-kyo spearheaded the new product in the line. She learned what people were buying. She started the new advertising campaign. She even designed the webpage and product logo. So here we have to analyze again the given statement to identify the meaning of spearheaded. Based from the presented information, we can imply that spearheaded means to lead. So from knowing what customers were buying, organizing the advertising campaign, to designing the webpage and product logo, so spearheaded once again means to lead. Next example. It took 2 days for the volunteers to extricate the little girl from the bottom of the well. So in accordance with the situation presented, what does the word extricate mean? Does it mean to free or remove? Does it mean to starve or to eat? So of course, extricate means to free or to remove. So that's the end of my discussion. I hope you've learned something from me today. Thank you.